So hello everybody, this is Sarah Hayes, the Astro Mama, and I am back with a special video. I was going to do a Facebook live stream today, and Facebook just was not having that, so I was preparing for the weekly video, and I noticed a really interesting thing that I wanted to do a special video on, and I think, again, I'm going to continue to do these special videos when I notice interesting patterns with the astrology. So today I'm going to be covering the Uranus-Jupiter opposition that is upcoming on September 28th and looking into how this will affect us as a collective. And then I'm also going to look at how this affects Kim Jong-un, obviously the leader of North Korea, because he has a tense aspect of Uranus and Jupiter natally in his chart. So this will definitely affect him. And then I'll also look back at what was going on with Uranus and Jupiter, during World War II, when we dropped the first hydrogen bomb, and then also in the 60s during the Cuban Missile Crisis, since we're kind of in similar times, unfortunately, right now. And I just wanted to look at the astrology and see if there's any correlation, which surprisingly, or unsurprisingly to me, there is connection with Uranus and Jupiter in those events. So let me get into, what Uranus rules and what Jupiter rules. So Uranus is the planet of sudden events, shocking occurrences, electricity, rebellion. And in the sign of Aries, which it's been in since late 2010, it's all about shock and rebellion for the individual. The individual standing up to what he or she thinks is the right way, basically standing up for their rights and what they believe is definitely Uranus and Aries. And again, in a shocking, very rebellious type of way, maybe at times aggressive, like protests, which is clearly what we've been seeing a lot of the last year, and then clearly since 2010. And then Jupiter as a planet, Jupiter is the planet of big events. It's the largest planet in our solar system. It rules opulence, it rules expansion. On the higher vibration, it's luck, abundance, wisdom. On the lower vibration, it can be indulgence, exaggeration, and just grandiose things are Jupiter-based. So with Uranus and Aries opposing Jupiter and Libra, which happens exactly this week on September 28th, we're really going to be pulled between the stance of taking our rights and the individual's rights, standing up for what we believe in, versus how to work with the group, how to work with one another, how to be in harmony, which is Libra. So these are themes that are going to keep coming up. This opposition actually only happens every 14 years, so it is a rather rare event, and it's something to kind of look at and see as they obviously continue to aspect one another. Now, one of the interesting things about Kim Jong-un, again, since I'm going to be looking at his chart, Kim Jong-un, again, we don't have an exact birth time or date. There's about a 90% approval and agreement between astrologers that his birthday is January 8th, 1983, which according to his actions and his behavior, I would say is pretty relevant. I am also born in January of 83, and so I have this aspect. So what he has is Jupiter conjunct, which is in the same sign as Uranus in Sagittarius. So anytime someone has Jupiter and Uranus in what we like to call a tense aspect in astrology, it creates a lot of sudden events, big events in their lives. That's kind of how they are in their personality. And when I say tense, the conjunction is in the same sign. Square is 90 degrees and the opposition is 180 degrees. And the closer that these degrees are, the closer and the more magnifying these events will be. So with Kim Jong-un's Uranus and Jupiter in Sagittarius, he does things very boldly. He's very sudden with his actions. He likes to do things in a grand way. And Sagittarius is ruled with foreign lands. So he will constantly be doing these bold, kind of expansive things, in and around in relation to foreign, lands. And another interesting thing about Kim Jong-un and this Uranus-Jupiter conjunction is, a lot of times it's considered a lucky aspect. Sagittarius as a sign rules luck. So the fact that he has not been invaded yet, you know, he's obviously not on good terms with really anybody at this point. You know, in a lot of ways, he is protected, and he has been protected by this Uranus-Jupiter conjunction in Sagittarius, but I don't know how much longer that's going to last. So if you in your natal chart have Jupiter and Uranus in a hard aspect, again, either the conjunction, the opposition, or the square, when this transit happens this week with Jupiter and Uranus in the opposition, it's going to trigger either where natally Jupiter and Uranus sit in your chart, or, you know, based upon the transits. And if you'd like to look at that, you can definitely order a special chart off of my website, theastromomma.com, and we can look at that, because this is a very big occurrence. Again, it only happens every 14 years with this opposition. You know, so it is a big deal. So definitely contact me, and I'll leave all my contact information in the dialogue box below. So what's interesting too is looking back to, you know, World War II and then the Cuban Missile Crisis. So I look back when we dropped the bomb in Hiroshima, which was August 6, 1945, and Jupiter was in Virgo squaring Uranus in Gemini. Again, a tense aspect between Uranus and Jupiter. Fast forward to the Cuban Missile Crisis, which happened on October 15th, 1962. Jupiter was in Pisces opposing Uranus in Virgo, and it was an exact aspect at 3 degrees when on that date. So again, those polarizing events with, you know, sudden shocking events and big events at that. And I just want to like have a little disclaimer here that just because Uranus and Jupiter make a tense aspect to one another does not mean bad things are going to occur. It can also mean sudden breakthroughs with technology, sudden luck. It's a good time to play the lottery. I'm actually going to play because I have the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction as well as Kim Jong-un. So I'm going to play the lottery on September 28th. And again, you know, it just signifies sudden, you know, huge events occurring. And again, it is a rather rare aspect to have. Now, I want to leave you guys with the higher vibrations of Uranus and Jupiter. So Uranus and Aries, the higher vibration would be, you know, to stand up for yourself as an individual, but do it from a place of passion and a grounded place. So, you know, becoming too aggressive will never work when it comes to trying to stand up for yourself or work with other people. You have to, you know, show your point and be passionate, but not combative or aggressive, which can be the case with Aries. And then with Jupiter and Libra, the higher vibrations would be, you know, to stand inside of peace for the overall good of everybody. And, you know, create a world and a union, because Jupiter rules, or Libra rules unions, that are really expansive and peaceful. So those are two really, you know, again, I wanted to give you kind of the higher vibrations of this aspect. It is a major aspect anytime outer planets, you know, come into contact with each other. Again, it doesn't happen very often, so it is a big deal. But I hope that you utilize, you know, Jupiter opposing Uranus in your own chart. Again, it's all about how you decide to take the energy. You know, astrology is just tools. And we get, you know, as individuals, we get to choose how we utilize the effects and direct the effects of the planets, you know, as best to our ability. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and please like, subscribe, and come over to theastromomma on Facebook or my website. Again, you can order a chart looking at how Jupiter transiting and opposing Uranus will affect your individual natal chart. And then I can look at your natal chart and see where Jupiter and Uranus sit and see how this will affect you. Again, if you have a hard aspect with Jupiter and Uranus natally, this upcoming transit on the 28th with the opposition will definitely affect you. And I speak a little bit more about that in the weekly forecast. But again, I just wanted to do this special video for you guys because I thought this was very interesting, and, you know, just giving everybody kind of a sense of how astrology does work and the patterns and how you can utilize it in that way. So thank you for joining. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking my channel and my Facebook page. I hope you guys continue to check me out, and I will be back soon for your weekly forecast coming up here at the end of today. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.